All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Creator Corner podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by my personal friends, Jeremy D. Simone. Jeremy, how's it going, dude?
It's going good. It's going good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited to have you on the pod. So, just for some context, guys, Jeremy and I met back in the summer of 24. So, this year, basically, we both were in sales training together. And let
Yep.
me tell you one thing, he absolutely killed it out there. And now he's got his own fitness offer.
Yep.
And yeah, how's your day going?
It's going good, man. It was a long night last night, so kind of just recovering and you know what I mean? Just
Heck yeah, dude.
all day and did a bit of meditation and went for a walk and yeah, grateful for one of the few
Nice.
sunny days we have in Canada before the winter.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more. So Jeremy is based out in Toronto and he's got his own fitness offer going there. He's meditating, journaling, doing all the important things in life. So Jeremy,
Mhm.
could you give our audience some context about what is it that you do?
Yeah, so my brand specifically helps, building muscles cool, right? Losing fat's cool. I'm more about like the model look, right?
Mhm.
Sustaining body fat between 8 and 12% year round with good muscular proportion. Now, I wanted to do this where, you're not like feeling like I followed some old protocols in the past where I felt a slave by numbers was the
Mhm.
exact thing I said like, and it was pretty emotional because I felt like I controlled my life. And yeah, I mean, should I get into that now or should I like talk about that later?
Oh no, you can get into it right now.
Yeah. So, I guess I started off 65 pounds overweight. I'm 5'8" and I was 200, just over 200 pounds. And, I lost the fat and then I started following like some of these, uh, these
Yeah.
shit, YouTube, right? Some intense workouts, intense diets. And, I'll be honest, I loved it in the sense is in like the only sugar I had was in fruit. Like I was
Okay.
that strict for months on end. And I loved it. I felt great, and I was different. I like standing out. I'm an attention maniac with an ego. So I didn't mind it. I was like, yeah, you know what? I love being healthy. I love being
Mhm.
in the gym 6 times a week. But the problem was it was getting into the summer and I realized I'm making my last meal Friday night at like 10 p.m. I'm making a 10 egg white omelet with spinach. And all my friends are out here like going out and enjoying like their thing. And for me, I wasn't doing that. And the whole point of me getting into fitness was to improve my social confidence, improve my self-esteem, and start becoming a better person because
Mhm.
I struggled with a lot of mental health issues before. And I realized the same way. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what was the point of going through all this just to not go out
Mhm.
and shy away from all that type of stuff? So I started doing more research and focusing on training that's more hard hitting. It minimizes some of the BS volume, and I
Mhm.
prioritize now more. The main thing I prioritize, and I'll be honest, is sleep. Like nothing touches my sleep. I noticed if no matter how many days a week you're working out or whatever, I just focus on that. Like if I sleep, I'll hit more energy. I'll be more productive throughout the day for work, but I'll also
Mhm.
be more productive in the gym.
Right.
And I could start minimizing my training a bit with some of the stuff I didn't really care about. I do things a bit differently. I don't really do a lot of barbell movements. I don't know why my body just doesn't respond well to barbells.
Fair enough.
I do some overhead press like with the barbell,
Right.
but definitely no barbell bench press really.
Mhm.
Um, and no like RDLs with the RDLs. I'll use like dumbbells. I'm more of a dumbbell kind of guy.
Right.
Um, and I like doing a lot of calisthenics, as in like dips, chin ups, pull
Pull-ups.
ups.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's really well. I do a few handstand push ups for the shoulders, but
Mhm.
that's just kind of my main thing, and that's kind of how I crafted my training now, where it's
Right.
like the thing is nutrition to keep yourself looking a certain way, macronutrients, and just training to build the parts of my body that I want, right?
Right. Dude,
So
that's amazing. So you were like 65 pounds overweight.
yes.
When was that? Like, was it in high school or?
Yeah, so it was in high school. And, you know, apparently I didn't know what a barber shop was either because I did not cut my hair. It was well, I mean, I did like, like a couple times a year, but like I had like an afro and everything. My style was all the way out. My dating life sucked. Um, and I it was an emotional time because I went through a lot of shit in high school. I mean, who doesn't really
Yeah.
nowadays? I was in a tough period, and fitness was one of the main things that I was able to find myself again. It put me in line with my purpose, and I feel like that was one of my main things. It's not that fitness got me out of depression, really. It was more so to realign me with my purpose, right?
Right.
Of wanting to become a better person, and
Hmm.
me falling in love with myself and being proud of the stuff I'm doing got me out of depression. I think a lot
Right.
of people miscommunicate that. They say, "Oh, gym's my therapy," and that's not. If you rely on the gym to be your therapy, then you're going to only start judging yourself off fitness, which leads to
Right.
body dysmorphia. See where I'm going with this? And that's a
Yeah.
big problem because the point of fitness is to empower your life, not to be
Hmm.
judged or have you're worthy of how
Right.
you, right? That's where people fall into the trap. And that's why I'm able to, that's where give myself most pride is because I always focused on it is in like, where am I at with my family and relationships, where I'm at with all my friendships, where I'm at with all my resources, where I'm at with, my health. And that's the scale I use. That's the rubric I use. So I don't just look at fitness as being therapeutic. It's more so I want to be proud of the things I'm doing. And
Right.
health and growing my body is on that list. It's not the only thing, but it's on that list. And that's why I teach a lot of guys to kind of master that because it's not just about how you look. And if you treat it like that, even in the moment, you're gonna eventually start going
Hmm.
down over
No,
time.
I couldn't agree more. Like I've fallen into that trap of like, making gym my everything, keep on like trying to
Yeah.
look better, be better, look better, be better. And the only way I
Yeah.
thought I could do that is, oh, what if I just go to the gym and do that? And
Mm-hmm.
then the thing is, you try to like, oh, I got to put on more muscle in this specific area. Let me eat more. And then you
Mm-hmm.
eat more, and then you feel like shit. And then it becomes like
Mm-hmm.
a never-ending cycle. You lose that weight again. And
Yeah.
so that's a amazing thing. Like I've not really put that in perspective until you told me that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so you're saying you got to have like different, levels, right? Like relationships, family,
Yeah.
fitness. So
Yeah.
like what happens if like one level is lower than the other? Like do you like go focus on that for like a bit more, or what's that process
Yeah.
like?
So yeah, I think so. If I'm giving this for myself, I
Mhm.
break down my key principles. It's hard not to be happy if you're succeeding in those four things, in my opinion.
Right.
Right. So I just kind of it's not something that I'm religious about every day. I just one of those things I always check on
Right.
every 3 months, like four times a year. Right. It's one of those things like, what we're slacking right now. Like recently, family has been something that's taken a hit based off some personal issues. And now it's like, okay, now I want to delegate more time towards improving my family and improving my relationships with my family and supporting them when they need
Hmm.
me. Um, so that's just what I do. But if I was telling someone else, I'd be like, write down your core values. What are they? And do things every day that you're proud of that would result into that. Anything you want, if you want to do anything, you always want to look at the input you put in. Like for instance, if it's fitness, right? You say you want to lose, let's just say easy math, 10 pounds in 10 weeks. All right. You're gonna have to lose a pound every week. Well, how do you
Right.
do that? You track the inputs. If I'm in a 500 calorie deficit every day, right, that's 3,500 calories every week, which is a pound of fat scientifically. So if you just hit 500 calories every day, just track the input. Yep, 500 calories, 500 calories. You don't even have to know, and you'll know I'll be 10 pounds lighter in 10 weeks,
Right.
right? Tracking the inputs every day.
Hmm.
So if I want to hit any goal, it's just like, okay, how do I track the inputs? And most of fitness is mindset and math. It's the two M's.
Hmm. Mindset and math. So I guess a follow-up question would be, right, like when you were in that 65 pound um above
Yeah.
body weight
Yeah.
area a period of time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like what
Mm-hmm.
was your mindset back then, and like how did it change over time to where it is right now? Like how did
Yeah.
you change all of that, and how are you teaching that?
Yeah. So I changed it goes into the whole there's something called, the locus of control. Do you believe things happen to you or for you? Right. And your beliefs will directly impact the action you take. You have a strong belief you'll be successful at running a podcast. That's why you're taking action. I have a strong belief that I can run a very successful fitness company transforming multiple lives. That's why I'm taking action. You work out because you believe you can hit a PR, because you believe you can be stronger. So in order to stay consistent at something, you have to have a strong belief, right? You have
Right.
to have a strong belief system that you can accomplish it. Otherwise, you're not going to take action.
Mhm.
So that's something to take into consideration. If you don't truly believe to your core that you can accomplish it, you're not going to stay consistent at it when it matters most. It's not about discipline. It's not about discipline plays into a factor later, but at the end of the day, without the core beliefs, you're not going to be as successful as you're hoping for. So it's
Right.
about finding that in you. And that's exactly what I did. So I visualized myself, like I had like songs where I'd imagine myself, lean chiseled at the pool party this summer. And, I'm starting in like October at this point. Or yeah, end of October, November. And that's the way I did it. As I had a firm belief that this was going to be me at the summer. And I wouldn't let it tell me. I was doing over more of a input, more work than I
Mhm.
had to do because failure was impossible for me.
Right.
Right. I didn't know much about fitness. I was just like, yeah, more is the better. I'm just doing planks
Mhm.
every day. I was eating a bunch of protein. I was like, I'm sure I'm doing something right. But because I was so consistent at that, and I saw it was working, so I kept doubling down on it. Again, it was math. Saw weigh myself. Oh, I'm down. Keep doing it. Right. I could have
Right.
got there a lot easier, which I didn't really know, but I loved it. And I was like, I saw instant progress. And then another thing that you have to remember is instant gratification is not going to be don't chase dopamine, chase success,
Right.
right? The idea of you waking up tomorrow and seeing progress is not going to happen, right? And the best way to stay consistent is really, having, well, one, like I talked about, belief,
Mhm.
and then, also connecting with your why.
Right.
Without your why, this is irrelevant. Now, there's a few tactics I've used over the period of time that help me really bring that out. But having those two things, belief system and your connection with your why, will do you pretty much all you have for the
Yeah,
next.
I guess a follow-up question would be because someone like me personally, I've had times where I've doubted myself and I just couldn't see it at times where I could the belief was kind of rotten, like
Mhm.
I just couldn't do it. Like it is an artificial visualization. Like how would you recommend someone like really believe in themselves and just, you know, throw themselves in the fire and take action? Like what's a motivating
Mhm.
factor?
What happens if you don't change?
What happens if you don't
That's what
change?
I would ask. I'd tell them to ask themselves that. What happens if you don't change? Now, if you're someone that's not too overweight, then you're probably not going to lead to medical bills or anything like that. But
Mhm.
if you're someone that's 60 pounds or 100 pounds overweight, and you think that what if you fail? And it's hard to believe. And I'm like, well, what happens if you change? Well, either you get surgery, pay for a crazy amount of bills there, right? Um, or worse, you leave your family with a funeral cost. If you're someone that's like 35 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight, maybe you're not going to have too crazy health risks. But I mean, how good is your energy at work? How
Mhm.
is this impacting the amount of money you make, your career? How is this impacting everything? And like, look at it. Maybe it's not worth it for you.
Right.
Like I mean, it's not for everyone, right? And some people, hey, I'm not the one telling you how to live your life. If you feel like you're 100% happy, go for it. But I'd ask yourself, like, how bad do you want it? Like, what happens if you don't change? Just ask yourself some questions. Um, because at the end of the day, if you just try and throw yourself into the fire without your meaning, you're never going to stick to it. You're just going to keep going back and forth, right? It's just going to be an instant, oh, I want to do this, and you don't do it. How many good ideas do you have and you don't take action on it because they're not a must have? They're just yeah, it'd be nice to have. I think of a million business ideas in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome, right? And I don't pursue them because it's not like my path. It's not who I am. But um, I this even goes for like careers too. Is in like I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger. I have a long family of like lawyers, and I probably could have got a nice recommendation to work at a good firm or whatever. But I saw the amount of work they had to do, And I was like, no, that's not for me. You know what I mean? Like I weighed the pros and cons. I'm like, yo, I could go into law. I probably make good income. I probably get a good, my family's in there. I'm gonna probably not fast track, but I get some connections in there. But I
Yeah.
saw the work I'd have to do. Saw the law school I'd have to go to. And I saw the like amount of work I'd be the grunt work for multiple years. Then when I'm 35, or 30, I'd probably be where I'd want to be in law. And you know what? I'm like, no, that's not how I want to spend my time. It's not how I spend my 20s. Right. So
Right.
I guess just weighing the pros and cons of some certain things could really help. Um, and yeah, just sit there and be like, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it, you will push through tough times. Like if you can't, that's what separates from people from succeeding and not.
Wow. No, I totally agree. Like, how bad do you want it is definitely something like
Mm,
most people they want it bad enough, but they don't believe in themselves to actually take that action, and they
mm,
just settle for where they're at.
mm.
Is that what you
And
see like with your
and another thing,
clients?
yeah, another thing I'll say is too is like I would question. I'm like, who told you you couldn't do it,
Hmm.
right? Who told you couldn't do it? Like what limiting beliefs pretty much are a cage around you. Everyone has limiting beliefs, but some of them, sure, they're realistic. Like you're probably not going to wake up a millionaire tomorrow by working 12 hours one day. But I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like limiting beliefs will cage you all the time. So I try to focus and question on why you can't do it and dive deeper into it. It might take more than just oh, this person said it. It's probably might have to sit on it one night for like an hour or so. Why do I not feel that? And
Hmm.
write it down. Just we're journaling, take it, write it down, and then face each objective like individually. This was the reason, and then find reasons why you can't. Right.
Right.
That would be another thing I would recommend try doing.
Wow. No, for sure. Like just writing it down, mapping it out, seeing how it doesn't make sense that you can't like if it's done before, it can be done again. That's how I look at it. That's how
Yeah.
I see it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a good question would be like when you're getting clients onboarded into your
Mhm.
program, like what are their limiting beliefs like initially? Like what do you push them in the correct direction? Not push, but like kind of steer them in the correct direction.
Mhm. So one of the things that I would do with people that hop on with me is it's funny. A lot of them have limiting beliefs, but they don't know it.
Hmm.
Right. So what I do is like I tackle a lot of the mindset like stuff and tracking the inputs. So I focus on like, who do you want to be, right? What characteristics does that person have? And say someone's like, say if you want to be I don't know, give me a superhero. Give me a
Oh,
Superman.
Superman,
Superman.
yeah.
Sure. Right. Characteristics. Actually don't really know much Superman, but whatever. He's probably disciplined, right? He probably works hard. He probably I know he saved the world, so he's probably very loving.
Mhm.
He flies around. Sorry, I can't help you there, but I don't know yet. Yet, maybe someday. So let's just take those three characteristics for instance. So I'm like, what type of habits would you have to have those characteristics? So if you're a loving, caring person, you'd probably want to schedule a lot of family time. Probably want to schedule time to like with friends, whatever. Discipline. So what type of habits do they have? Well, they probably have a good sleeping routine. Probably control what they put in their mouth. They probably have a training regimen that they stick to, right? You start taking all these habits of the characteristic. And then if you do the habits every day, every week, you develop the characteristics
Right.
which will which will then translate to the person.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I explained that correctly. So yeah, you look at the person, right? Look at the characteristics, and then find each characteristic. Find three habits you can do, and then out of those three habits, because a lot of people find that a little overwhelming, pick one habit to start of each characteristic, and then do those habits and plan them in your calendar. Right? Because life is a collection of time. I think the quote is like, if you love life, you have to manage time. Right?
Hmm.
You can't make more time, but you can manage it.
Right.
Right? So planning your calendar. So when am I going to do this habit? And if you just focus on the habits, you get the characteristic, right? And you get like I don't think I've seen Superman that much, and I can just tell you he's probably disciplined. Why? Because he's a hero. But hero is not, right?
Yeah.
So That would be one of the main things I do. So we focus on getting the habits. You need to become the person you want.
Hmm.
Now, right? Majority of them people, they want discipline. They want to stop procrastinating in life. They want to start becoming that version of themselves. I'm like, okay, so we got to start figuring out habits that you can specifically do. Right? It depends on their schedule, right? If there's some guys are working 80 hours a week, some guys working 60. So how we schedule is kind of customized.
Yeah.
That's the very first thing we do. And then we just focus on controlling the locus of control, right? Which pretty much means things don't happen to you, they happen for you, right? So this opportunity of you having to lose, let's just say 100 pounds, a client has to lose 100 pounds, this in front of you is an opportunity to reshape your entire life, as opposed to they're either obstacles or they're opportunities.
Hmm.
So you can make whatever you can phrase it however you want. Language is very important how you talk to yourself. It's almost like instead of saying I'm tired, oh I'm so tired, you could say, man, yo, I gotta find a way to get some more energy. Yo, I
Yeah.
gotta. You see, one sounds like you're being a little, and the other one sounds like, all right, yo, this guy's gonna get it. Like he gotta ramp up. He's pushing himself, right? And then I will say another thing we do at the very beginning after we develop those characteristics and the habits, we get very crystal clear on what the goal is,
Hmm.
right? So if you don't have a specific goal, you don't have a goal at all. Like if someone just says, "Yeah, I want to lose fat and build muscle," right? I was like, "Okay, like sure." It's like someone's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to study," and it's like, all right. Like you hear that, it's like, yeah, okay, right? You just want to grab ass the whole time, like, but
Oh no.
if someone says, you know what, I'm going to go there, I'm going to study 4 hours a day after classes, and then after that, I'm going to drink tequila all night. And it's
Hmm.
like, okay, you know what? This guy's probably going to work hard and play hard.
Yeah.
He probably will. He sounds a lot more specific. He's like, I'm going to give 4 hours of all my time to studying after whatever, maybe exams 5, 6, whatever. Um, but the more specific your goal is a lot more
Clearer.
better result you'll have.
Oh no, for sure. Like I definitely agree. So when your clients hop on a program of yours, it's
Yeah,
customized exactly to their needs, like kind of custom tailored to their needs, right? So how do you
yeah,
like structure their workouts to like maximize the results? Because each person's different. So like, what's
100%.
your process like that?
100%. So this goes into the math equation that I told you about. Fitness is
Right.
math mindset. And this also gets into the terms of the goal. Some guys,
Mhm.
they don't really care to have crazy amount of muscle. They don't really care to have. Some guys want to I want to customize my arms a bit more, right? So it's going to be different, like I said, or kind of like you said. So with the math equation, I'll give the recommendation that go. This is where we're going to start with. This is where I see the most success with. This is how a lot of people do it, but could be different for you. However, you're going to be tracking your lifts, right? And if you're not going up every week, you're not improving every week. And a lot of people make this mistake where they don't realize what improvement is in a workout. Your improvement in a workout, yes, it's obviously adding weight. Yes, it's obviously taking that weight for more repetitions, but it's also how clean your reps are.
Right.
You can hit a PR just by doing, let's just say 5 reps of, I don't know, let's just say 50-pound dumbbells or whatever,
Hmm.
right? You can hit a PR just by improving like the quality of them. Even if you didn't add weight, even if you didn't add repetitions, but if they're a bit more clean or they're going a bit more at ease and you finish and you almost like get the 6 rep, just because that's a PR, right?
Right.
And you have to remember, especially if you're using a lot of dumbbell work, which is what I personally like, um, adding weight to dumbbells is 5 pounds. And you think of a bicep curl, say if you're curling 30s and 35s, you feel that, right? That's a
Right.
big difference. You going up 5 pounds on dumbbells is harder. So, especially if you're doing a lot of dumbbell stuff, like just remember a PR can also be the amount of clean reps you have. And
Right.
filming yourself is really important. So focus on form first. Don't get injured. You get injured, you hurt yourself, you're out of the gym, you don't make progress even for even longer. Focus on form. Then start like filming your workouts, track your progress, and over time, like as long as you keep progressing, the muscle will come.
Right.
Um, that would be that'd be a really big thing
I
for.
think I think you'd appreciate this. I recently started curling 40 pounds for dumbbell.
Let's go.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's a bit it's not a PR yet, it's not a clean rep, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting there. I'm getting to your level right now.
Right
But
on.
I'm curious, like what strategies, right? What strategies have you found like most effective for like building this brand of yours? Like the
Building a
model
brand.
mastery physique? Like what's the
Yeah.
like what strategies do you implement?
Yeah. So I'll go back and what I actually did, I looked at a 5 year timeline on my life. And I've never been
Right.
so emotional. Holy smokes. It's like watching Oprah. But I was very emotional. Like, but I was right, we're in a 5 year timeline from, 2019 to 2024 now. And I looked at where I was in each phase of my life, like each month. Thank God for Snapchat memories, because there's no way I would remember that.
Yeah.
Right? I like that. I was like, oh, yeah. And I look, I'm like, yo, what did this guy want? Right.
Hmm.
And the main thing is I wanted to improve my social confidence, my social life. And I wanted a way because I didn't fit in much when I was a kid. So I wanted a way to stand out. And the way I came together is like, okay, so what did this person want growing up? What was he looking for? How did he improve it? And basically with the model physique mastery, is like, it's important to build how you look, right? But it's also how you carry yourself, the energy you bring. And it's about, obviously communication. So I really wanted to create something where it wasn't so one dimensional around fitness, because the idea of you get in shape and all your problems are solved is not realistic, right? So it matters with like the self belief, because if you have belief that you can accomplish something, you can accomplish anything, and that's what fitness teaches us, right? You just do something, stay consistent at it day by day, night by night, and eventually it's done. Like you're at the goal, and you're like, holy smokes, right? If I set a goal and I stay consistent, I can accomplish anything. And fitness gives you that reward. It builds the belief. And another thing too is like I really wanted to master communication, because I find that people really struggle with that, right? How many guys out there are like
Oh,
struggling with communication, not just with dating, but like also like just human nature. Hey, nice to meet you. And it's just awkward, or it's like, okay, you like feel like you're talking to a 5 year old and the person's our age, like 20 something. So I'm really passionate about that, like communication, because I think it's a very important skill. And everything in life is communication, really.
right.
You're selling something, you're selling yourself, or you get someone selling to you. If you're not selling yourself, someone's selling to you.
Yeah.
You're being sold to.
Sell or be sold
Yeah,
is how it
and
is.
yeah, so I really wanted to create a brand around that, where you can wake up every day, enjoy what you've seen in the mirror, and feeling proud of who you are, carrying an energy that was radiant. And I know that sounds a little like weird, but when you truly love yourself and you believe you're the man and the person, you do radiate a certain energy. It's called the big dick energy. And certain people have it, and a lot of people struggle with it. And it's not, again, dating is just one aspect. It goes with making friends, right? Making quality friendships, and also helping people get into that like next stage of their life that they want to go to.
Right. Right. No, totally. I totally and like I do definitely agree with you. So I guess, like what's the strategy to like, how did you build this entire company up from scratch, from like the ground up? I think we have like
Yeah, I
nine
was, I
minutes for
was
some
literally,
reason.
I was literally just texting. I was like, why is it going like that?
I don't know. I thought I had Zoom Pro, but not an issue. We can just like I'll compile like two of them together, two meetings together.
Okay, do you want to? Okay, we'll continue. Okay, I'll answer this question, then we'll hop off and then do another Zoom.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I just felt, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
what
we
was the
can have a
question?
quick we can have a quick water break.
Yeah, man. How am I doing so far? Any tips?
Dude, you're doing amazing. You're
Okay.
giving so much value. And like I think this is a very, very fun podcast so far. Like I'm learning a lot more about you and from you as well. So
Appreciate it, man. Well, yo, I'm actually, this is fun for me too, man. I like this stuff. It feels like I'm just talking to a friend, and it's like I'm trying to get as much value as possible.
yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, no, I'm doing my best. Thank you.
Awesome. Wait, I think yeah, the question was like, what are the biggest strategies for like building your brand from ground up?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So So some of the biggest strategies for building a brand is you got to focus on, you got to have, first of all, you have to have a target market,
Mhm.
right? If you market to everybody, you market to nobody. And I'll get off a little off topic here, but think of the Barbie movie. They made that movie for one target market, like woman. Only
Right.
didn't give a shit about the men. In fact, if men watched it, they're supposed to hate it because it's patriarchy, right? It's about literally just about how men are like corrupt, and some of them are.
Misogynistic or
I
something.
don't
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the movie, but it's like um, they make it so men hate it even worse, and but they
Right.
make it solely for the women, and in reward, it's the highest movie ever made or something like that in profit margins, right? And then look what, and the Marvelettes or whatever, the Marvel
Mhm.
company, they tried to make, women like comic books. How many women do you know with comic books? Not
I
much.
wish I knew. I wish I knew with
Yeah,
comic.
not much. And
Yeah.
so they made, and it was a Marvelettes, all women for Marvels. And guess what? The movie flopped. Worst movie in entire like in Marvel history, Disney history, or whatever, something like that. And it goes to show you, it's like when you nail your target market effectively, right? That's what you get. Um, and also think about it like this: who makes more money, the doctor or the surgeon? Surgeon specializes in heart surgery, brain surgery, tumors, whatever. He makes more money because it's more specialized. Even though he does one thing, but he does one thing very well. So if you're going to start a fitness brand, just focus on the target market. You have to have one. Don't be a generalist, otherwise you're boring. Okay, for me, it's bringing someone to model physique, like bringing someone to like elite condition. But make sure you have something cool. And then I would also focus on like, what does that person want? So why do they want it? If you're marketing to someone that's 50 to 70 years old, you're looking at more longevity than you are women and getting women. They don't give a
Yeah.
shit about that. If you market someone in their 30s and 40s, probably care more about spending time with kids, right? They probably care a lot more about higher energy, right? They might have dips at work, and it's like, oh, it's so annoying. Um, their pain points are, they go to work, they work really hard, but they don't get that status in the suit, right? Or a status on the beach, right? Because no one can tell they're a big dude,
Mhm.
right? So you can play on their ego a little bit. A guy, don't do college students because those guys have no money until Friday night, and then Sunday they're broke again. So
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't do that. Those guys,
So
you
I was
know.
under the impression that like your ideal clientele would be like young guys, maybe.
Yeah, so most of the guys that I want to help the most is going to be guys 25 to 30. That 5 year range. So they're out of college, they're made their first job, and they really want to start improving their dating life, improving. They've probably always been overweight majority of their life. They work a sedentary job, like white collar, and yeah, single. They want to eventually have a family. They're into sports. They do a lot of NFL, football, fantasy, and shit. Like I have it all mapped out. Like I know who exactly my target market is, so I can speak to them directly. And then as far as growing a fitness brand, posting, what they want. My guy doesn't really want 10 little protein recipes. Like that's not my type. That's not
Yeah.
my, you know what I mean? They want, what the hell do I need to eat so I get ripped? Like
Yeah.
just don't give me like these 10 recipes on some PDF and all these little you can sprinkle this in, and only that, like that's more for like, mom, like my mom,
Yeah.
wine and cheese and all these little types of low cal like men really don't care. At least my target market wouldn't really give a shit for that. And then as far as like growing a brand, it's not so much giving value because everyone gives value, but
Mhm.
learn how to shift their beliefs, as in the sense, as in. So for me, something I did well was just because you work out doesn't mean you'll improve your confidence. That got a lot of trust because you're shifting their beliefs because confidence comes from competence. Working out gives you self-esteem. And how much, I don't care how much you love yourself, loving yourself doesn't translate to confidence. The competence will. So what I mean by this, if say let's use it in a dating perspective, because a lot of guys, they get that stuff. They think working out will give them confidence approaching girls looking like Dua Lipa. Right? And it's
Yeah.
not the case. I don't care how much you love yourself. If you're not talking to girls like Dua Lipa all the time, you'll never be confident talking to them. You'll feel good going in, but you're not going to have that confidence. And in another perspective, think of it like this. If you had to fix the plumbing in a house, I don't care how much you love yourself. I'm not confident fixing the pipes in this house and fixing the plumbing. Why? Because I have no skill. If I was
Right.
going to fly an airplane, I don't care how much I'm bicep curling, bench pressing. You think you trust me? No. But it's the same. Everyone misconceptions that, if I had the confidence to talk to that girl in the club, but it doesn't come from that. It comes from going to talk to girls like that all the time, right? And then keep improving, failing, learning, improving, failing, learning, improving. And fitness just gives you the courage to go do it because you feel
Right.
like you're more confident in who you are as a person, not confident talking. There's a completely different things that everyone mixes up. And when people start to hear that, like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of true. But so if you're going back to the question of growing a fitness brand, you're going to need to shift their beliefs because it's not enough just giving value, I find, because everyone gives value. The problem is you don't commit on the value you're given.
Mhm.
And if this podcast could be for nothing, if someone's listening to this podcast could be for nothing if you're not actually going to wake up one day and say, today's the day. No, there's going to be no point. Information without implementation is useless.
Right.
So, it's all about, that's why I told people on my program, there's three forms of accountability. First of all, it starts with you and yourself. I can give you whatever you want, but if you don't take action, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Go back to your old habits. Accountability starts with you looking yourself in the mirror every day and saying, today's the day. Next form of accountability is obviously the peers, like the group we have in there, the community, and then obviously from me, right? If you start snacking on M&Ms 24/7, I'm gonna call you out, right? But yeah, yeah. So just kind of retouching on that, So my big thing is working out gives you confidence to like talk to girls that are like insanely attractive, and it's just not true. It's you love yourself more, you believe in yourself more, but it doesn't translate to communication, talking with girls
Right.
that are attractive. And a lot of people make that mistake, but here's where the real problem is. The problem is people say, oh, it's because I'm not in good enough shape. That's why the conversation didn't go well. I wasn't good enough. And they focus solely on improving their physique and don't improve on just keep replicating the process of cold approaching women. Right. And it's the same thing with everything. They focus on the wrong thing. They say, and that's where the body dysmorphia comes in. It's like, oh, I'm not big enough. I'm not jacked enough. That's why. But it's like, no, again, confidence comes from competence. Right. You want to fix plumbing in the house, like this house. I love myself very much. Zero confidence in my ability. The only way to get better at the plumbing is to do it multiple times, which, that's the only way I'm going to get better. And it's the same thing with any other thing in the world.
Mhm.
Like I'm pretty damn confident in my ability to work out tomorrow, right? Why? Because it's a
Right.
workout day and I haven't missed a workout day in forever,
Mhm.
right? I don't think I've ever missed a workout day. Like I've obviously rescheduled a workout because
Yeah.
something, but that's like once in a blue moon. Because I like working out when I say I'm going to work out, and I'm very confident in my ability that I'm not going to make an excuse tomorrow because I have multiple years proving to myself that I will do it, right? Rather a guy just starting out saying, yeah, you might make an excuse. So just always remember that confidence and self-love are two very different things. And it always goes like, you start off with courage, right? Take that first step, right? Then you get like courage, action, right? Then you get skill, failure, and then repeat,
Right.
right? So there's something to take into consideration.
No, for sure. And I gotta ask one more question, right, regarding this. So, like, how long do you think does it take for like guys to actually implement this? Like, like most of them say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it day after." They just keep on yapping to themselves, but they never really do it.
Yeah.
So, do you call them out on that, or
Here's the thing. You work with me, I'm not letting you fail.
right?
Like there's none of that shit. Like I hold you to a commitment, not to me, but to yourself, right? Very, very, very strict on that. If you're a guy that's on your own trying to do this, look, you're gonna go at the pace you want to go. How long it takes is really gonna determine how bad you want it. How much pain are you in? So there's three things that cause change, right? You need pain in the past, pain in the present, pain in the future. If you have pain in all three of those categories, boop, there you go. You're going to make change. So think of it like this. Even if there's good memories in one, you're gonna hold on to it. Think of a toxic relationship, like a bad relationship. He was good in, like, a lot of girls or guys, she was so good in the past, but now and then in the future, but you still hold on to the good memories. So you don't break up with them. You don't leave them because you remember all the good times in the past, right? So and then they reverse it, if you can look at it as in, like, that situation, people hold on to the past, stay in the relationship, even though if it's toxic now, and it'll be toxic down the line. Now, if you would say it's good now, but it's bad in the future, bad in the past, people say, oh, they say he went out last night and he cheated on me, but he made up for it. He made me such a nice thing, and he said he's in love with me now. But he's going to California next week with some guy friend. So, but like right now he's so good. He's showing me he loves me so much. They're just kind of focusing on the moment, but they're ignoring the thing. They'll hold on to it. It's like, no, it's good now. I don't want to do it now because everything's going so well. So.
Right.
In order to really cause change, you need pain in all three of those categories. Future pain, pain right now, pain in the past. So if you're a guy, if you want to use this in the dating terms, rejected all your life, just got rejected, and nothing in the funnel lining up in the future.
The funnel is bad.
That will cause you, like, holy shit, I got to do something. Like, you got to
Right.
move, right? If they're in a relationship, toxic before, toxic now, probably signs it's going to be toxic in the future. History's giving you're gonna get out of that relationship. You can't handle it. So
Right.
if you can build bad things, or people move away from pain, people don't really move towards pleasure as much. They end up falling and moving away from pain. Your brain is
Right.
only meant to save energy, have sex, reproduce, and eat cheap food, convenient food, because it's meant for survival. It doesn't really want to push. Right? So if there's pain there and you can't bear it, your body's going to want to move. You won't rise to your ambition, you fall to your standard. So if you raise the standard, I know everyone says that, raise your standards, but it's true. For me, it's unacceptable to miss a workout day. And that little standard and habits are what get me the result. I think a lot of people will make this mistake when they want to hit a goal. They focus so much on the goal. They say, write your whole goals down. And the problem is it's kind of far away, and you lose. You get discouraged. You're like, holy shit, it's so far away. But if you make, I'm going to hit the habits today. Walk, right? Deficit, hitting the workout, and not binging at night, or not having that chocolate bar that you're so used to or accustomed to. You make those your wins. Now you're winning every day, right? So that's another thing too, where if you want to really hit a goal, especially in fitness, focus on the daily habits that will result into the goal. And you just know, is pretty consistent. It's almost like if someone works 12 hours, 6 days a week, pretty darn sure over 5 years, they're going to make some pretty good progress towards their career goals. You don't have to know, you don't have to know what he was working on, or you don't have to know anything else because you know the inputs. Right. So I want to share something actually real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
These are my daily to-do list. So there's about a month. This is September, the month of September, right? These are all my victories. So let me just take out one here. Look, check mark all across every day.
Wow.
Right? Every day, check mark on the box. So I don't know, just something that's my way of hitting the wins. And here's another thing too. And I find this a lot with nutrition people too. I have very bad ADHD, and I can't stick to my calendar sometimes, but I make it unacceptable if I don't do certain things. So I'm trying to grow a business right now. That's my number one priority. So I have to do certain things every day, and sticking to a calendar sometimes it's really hard because I get distracted. But no matter how much I get distracted, I do not have my dinner. And sometimes I eat dinner at 9 p.m. Sometimes I eat dinner at 9:30. It doesn't matter. I am not having my dinner and turning off for the day until I hit those to-do lists. And those to-do lists are, mentors that told me or showed me a proven process that if I hit this, the input will lead to the expo.
Right.
So just another thing for you, like that's why my plan, I actually don't do meal plans. I do meal structures. Like, hey, here's the principles, here are the guidelines, because you're not gonna eat off the PDF every day.
Right.
You need to understand how protein work, how macronutrients work, what your body feels best off of, right? And then after that, you're gonna be able to take this for yourself. You don't give the fishermen fish, you teach them how to fish. So they catch their own fish. So that's another thing that I'm a true believer in is if you just focus on the input, you get the output.
No, I totally agree. Like in the fact that he mentioned, like writing your goals down every day, it can be, a bit discouraging seeing how far it is away.
And you're
So
writing something down you never accomplish. Imagine writing something down
exactly.
and it's like, holy shit, man, I've been writing this down like for 5 months, man, and I haven't hit it. It's like I gotta change something. I gotta make this more realistic.
Yeah, no,
But
for
imagine
sure,
you
man.
write down everything you know you're gonna get done today. And before I have dinner, I know all this is gonna be accomplished today, and I'm gonna feel pride in that. Now imagine
Yeah,
how much swagger you're gonna have going to the club that night that you just hit everything you're supposed to do. Because that's how you gain that quote unquote big dick energy. It's by doing the
no,
thing
for
you're
sure.
proud of. And it shows, right? And you don't have to do it for other people, but you have to do it for yourself, right? And the thing is with yourself is you can't bullshit yourself. I could have easily not hit that one day and nobody would know, but I would know. Right?
Yeah.
I would know. I could probably skip a workout now. It wouldn't affect your progress. In one isolation, here's the thing. People say balance or whatever. People say isolation, this event won't hurt me, right? It won't at all. But once you do it once, it's easier to do it again, right? Once you break something, it's like it's easier to do it a second time and find an excuse to do it a second time. Right. And then it
Right.
gets kind of going back and back and back. But if you make it an absolute promise to yourself and be the truthful to yourself, keep doing what you're supposed to do, right? See what you're accomplishing, and you'll carry the energy because that's how you get the swagger. It's just from doing the things you're proud of. If you do some
Right.
fuck shit behind closed doors, you're gonna know your energy is gonna be off. And how you get lean is gonna be determined. If you want to get in really good shape, you want to like look really good. If you're depressed and you have body dysmorphia, and you're solely just working out and that's your entire personality, you're not going to have that type of energy that people are attracted towards,
That's it.
men, women, business, anything like that, because it's unfortunate but it's true, because you're not going to be super proud of who you are as a person, because your body's more, you always want more, and that leads to the dark place, but also people can sense that your energy's off. So always focus on just doing the things you're proud of, and it'll do wonders for your energy, people gravitating towards you, and even like networking. It's also kind of BS. It's like me and Sid, right? We met because we were trying to get better. That's how we connected. We
Mhm.
didn't go and say, "Hey, nice to meet you. Like, what do you know? I want to learn off you," and kind of suck up to them. It's like, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Do shit on your own. And you're like, yo, I see this guy working hard. This guy started a podcast, right? This guy's in sales. Like he's working on himself. I gravitate towards him. He saw the same thing in me. That's why we're friends, right? It's because
Yeah.
we focused on ourselves and we noticed, hey, you're doing good shit. I like it, right? I want to be friends with you. And now it's like that's why I think really just doing more stuff you're proud of
Mhm.
is really going to be a hack. But anyways,
And the cool thing is as well, right? Like what he just said is not only about fitness, it's about like I can put that to use in content creation as well. Like I have a little notebook out here, right? Where I track all my daily stuff which I need to do, my daily
yeah,
goals. But the thing is, I also I write my goals down for the future as well, which kind of
yeah,
sometimes discourages me. Like, how can I do
yeah,
this? Like, how is it gonna happen? And I keep
yeah.
questioning myself. I keep questioning that.
Hmm.
And if I question it more, the more it's kind of going away.
Yep.
Um, so I think I'm definitely gonna try to create a daily win checklist, like how you've done it. And I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna, give that a try, see how it's working out for me.
Yeah.
And no, for sure. Like, thanks for
And
sharing that.
let me say this. weighs nothing. This is one checklist, right? All check
Yeah.
marks, right? Probably 10, 12 hour day. Weighs nothing. Zero balance, zero weight. Two, zero, like nothing. But if you take a whole month, it weighs something, right? Now imagine a year. Imagine how heavy that's going to weigh on. And your
Right.
business or your fitness is kind of like a growth of a child. If you're a
Yeah.
parent, they grow. You probably don't really notice that much. But if like you're a cousin, you see them every holiday, you're like, holy smokes, man, you've grown so much. Parents don't notice it, kids don't notice it. But people are like, holy, yo, you working out, man? Like shit,
Yeah.
right? But it's like you don't, but the people around you don't notice because they see you every day. And it's just going to be the exact same thing. So piece of paper weighs empty, zero effect, zero at all. Same thing if you miss. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it wasn't destroyed in a day. Multiple papers of just constant wins. And this checking off that to-do list is like, fuck yeah. It's not just a yeah. It's like nah. It's like a little exclamation mark. It's like heck
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And it looks different every day. And like there's some principles I don't move away from, like certain things I have to do. But sometimes, like I said, my family's hurting right now. I have some relationships with my family. Great. I'm going through some stuff very personal, and they need me to step up in some areas. So I put that on the to-do list because this is about who I'm going to become in the next few months. And this is what's going to get me there. So
Right.
the principles for the business are there, but I also incorporate stuff that I need to do to become the person I want to become.
Right.
And people think it's not related, but it is related because if you're slacking off in one area, you're going to start taking that energy to one area. Like if you're emotionally unstable in one spot, you're going to affect something else over here. And to put this in dating context, okay, this is a guy, you guys are going to like this. Say you got two girls, both give the first one, she's kind of shying away from it. She's kind of like, oh, I feel like I'll do it, but like she's like shying away. And then you got the other one pretending it's like a loose ball in the Super Bowl. The same
I
thing,
might have to
but
blow that one out.
they're both doing the same thing, but the quality is different, right?
Right.
So your emotions and how you handle everything in your life is going to determine the quality of output you get. Who do you think is going to give the better one? So if you don't manage shit in your life that are going on, it will impact where you want to go. And a lot of people in fitness, that's a lot of emotional eating. That's a lot of uh it's a lot of emotional eating. It's a lot of bad habits from inactivity.
Right. I totally agree. Totally agree. Wait, how much time do you got left?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So I think a good question would be like, you've got a checklist ready. You've got like different things set up every single day to become the person you want to become. So I'm curious, like when you're getting started right now, or like you're like building that business up, the personal brand up, right? So who are the couple of people you look up to in different aspects of your life? Like
Yeah.
yeah, the
Who do I look up to? That's a good one. One of the person I look up to is The Rock.
the
The
Rock,
Rock.
Dwayne the Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. I think he's an awesome person, family guy. He had to go through some stuff in his early life, and the way he's just I don't care. Like, notice how I didn't say fitness. I didn't even mention that he was consistent with fitness. Like, that's just a byproduct of everything. Like, cool, there's fitness, but who I look up to is I see him as someone who's extremely disciplined, motivated to create awesome films for people, and he seems like a people me person. So he was actually probably one of the first um, people I looked up to in the fitness space. And then obviously I started getting into fitness. I'm like, bro, that's a not normal, right? Like, is he juicing or not? Like, I don't give a shit, right? It's not really who I am, but I just see the way he trains, pushes himself, gets into like kind of quote unquote movie star shape every
Right,
fucking week. And another person I looked up to when I really got into fitness, when I wanted to look like, I wanted to model off Zac Efron in Baywatch.
right,
He was the guy that I wanted to really look up to because Um, I know he had a body that I was kind of striving for. Not
Right.
necessarily massive, but I looked up to his kind of physique.
Right. Like it's funny because you know who you remind me of right now?
Yeah.
Like Greg.
Oh, Kino body.
Yeah.
He's definitely someone. Okay, yeah. In like the terms of like success, like yeah, he's someone I do look up to as well.
Right.
He 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 was proof that like if it can be done, I could do it. Right.
Exactly.
I'll take my own version of what I want to do on my umbrella. But
Hmm.
he kind of opened my eyes a bit a couple of years ago. Same thing with King Keto, Brandon Carter.
Yeah.
He was up there with someone that really opened my eyes as well. And then I got yeah, Coach Tata, they call him. He's there. Obviously, Bridger Rogers,
Yeah.
uh, Arden. If they're watching this, shout out to them because it definitely made me the person I am today.
Right.
Uh, so those are some people I look up to. That's something I'm really grateful for. Is like I'm at first like January 2024. I didn't have a lot of friends that I could rely on or people that I could lean on. Now I feel like I do. As friendship was one of the pillars I was wanting to focus on in early 2024. That's when some stuff around me changed with some family stuff. And I felt like I had like no one because it's one thing you want to talk to your friends, you want to be like, hey, I need support, but I don't want to victimize myself, right? And that's it.
Hmm.
I'm very careful with how I do it. So anyways, I really focused on my friendship and my networking. And I definitely think this year itself has been like probably my biggest test mentally with some stuff that's going on. And but I looked at it as in like, yo, that's an opportunity, man. Because I know if I can't handle some family stuff, I ain't gonna be running no successful business. I'm not gonna be helping a lot of people. How am I supposed to manage
Hmm.
hundreds of clients if I can't even manage my family?
Right.
And that is like, all right, cool. Obviously you can look at it, this sucks, or you can say like, yo, this is a test, man. Like I gotta step up. I gotta step up my game. And how you tell yourself the same thing happened, but I looked at it in a different perspective. As in, hey, like this is what it is, and focusing on what I can control. Because
Right.
like so anyways, a little off topic there. But
No, no, it's thanks for sharing that. And wow, that dude, like, thank you for taking the time today. Like, guys, this is part one. Jeremy is coming to Vancouver in
I'm coming to
November.
Vancouver, yeah. I'm coming to
Yeah, so
Vancouver.
I want to save a couple of the more juicy questions, right, for the in-person pod. So if you guys want to reach out to Jeremy, hop on his program, I definitely recommend you guys check out his IG. It's going to be link in the description. Here is his IG. Gotta click the link here, book a call with him. And yeah, you guys can see his testimonials and reviews. Make sure to check him out. I can personally vouch for him as well. Like he is an absolute, but look at him. So just look at him. Take it in, guys. So yeah, guys, where do they come, Jeremy? Should they DM you or should they link in bio?
Yeah, they can link in bio. They can find out a bit more what I can do. If they want, they can DM me. Honestly, I'm only one guy, so like, I mean, yeah, I'd mostly want to just see if I can even help you to begin with. So if you can just fill out that application or kind of look up more what I do, and we see if we're the right fit. Because like I said, like I'm only one guy, and I I get a lot of people come to me saying they want to build like 40 pounds of muscle. And I'm like, dude, I can't help you. So I generally want to make sure I can help you before like we like lock arms and accomplish.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching this episode. This is part one. There is going to be a part two. Thank you, Jeremy, for hopping on. And dude,
So,
super blessed.
take care, man. I hope you had a good one.
Peace.